Good evening, my friends. This is Paul, and tonight I'm going to be reviewing Space Intervention for the Wii U. Yeah, that's right, a Wii U game in 2019. I wonder how many times I'll have to say that before indies just give up on the thing. But before I continue my actual review, shout out to That Rat Wears Hats for suggesting that I use background music for games that don't really have music in the background. So, I decided to use Grant Kirkhope's amazing rendition of Spiral Mountain for the Banjo-Kazooie DLC in Smash Ultimate. Does it fit with the action? Absolutely not. But who cares? It's Banjo-Kazooie music done by Grant Kirkhope in 2019. I'll use it. Heck, I would use it in an Ace Attorney video if I could. This music is just that great. Anyway, enough about the music. Let's start talking about the game. So, if you didn't already tell by the footage, this is basically a Space Invaders clone. You control a red ship at the bottom of the screen, you move it left and right, you press pretty much any face button to shoot, and then you try to hit as many enemies as you can before you get hit 3 times. Funny how they don't take 3 hits, but you do. Like, it seems kind of unfair to the enemies, but then again, they're all ganging up on you, and you only can have 1 ship at a time, so video game logic. Besides, this game was only 89 cents when I bought it, so I'm not expecting a masterpiece. Now, the weirdest thing about this game is ironically how it starts up, which is kind of clumsy, even by the weird games I've reviewed standards. Basically, I started out playing the game with the gamepad on my lap, on the couch, thinking, well, this is such a simple game. If it's just a Space Invaders ripoff, then it doesn't really need all the fancy schmancy TV shenanigans. However, what I forgot to take into account is that there are 2 icons at the bottom of the gamepad. One is in the shape of a TV, and one is in the shape of a gamepad. And in order to play on the gamepad only, you have to click that button before you press the start button. Well, I was an idiot and just pressed the start button anyway, and then the only thing my gamepad displayed was the high score, the number of rounds of enemies I had defeated, what score I currently had. Yeah, it was still playing even though my TV was off. And as much as I tried to get it back to the main game, I couldn't without physically turning off the game, then turning it back on, then making a conscious decision not to hammer the start button to get this over with, press the gamepad option, and then press start so that I could play it on the gamepad. Yeah, that is such a cumbersome process, and it's all because the developers, to my knowledge at least, chose to make this a Wii U exclusive. Why couldn't this have been on the 3DS if they were so determined not to put it on the Switch for some reason? Like, the 3DS has 2 screens, and you don't have to hook up a separate peripheral. This could easily have been optimized. Then again, I wouldn't be able to capture footage for it. Apart from that, this game is okay-er than most of the post-Breath of the Wild games I've reviewed on the Wii U. That's not to say that makes it good. Literally all you're doing is just holding down whatever face button is the most comfortable for you to keep shooting at these guys until you die. Now, granted, what is cool about this game is that each color and design of the enemy has a different attack pattern. So a minor strategy could be, well, I don't like this particular enemy's attack, so I'm going to try to eliminate this kind of enemy first. Whether or not that was in the original Space Invaders, I don't know. But I thought it was pretty cool. You know, not too many games with this kind of retro style go for even that much strategy. I mean, I expected pretty little paying 89 cents for this. Also, I have some other niggling little nitpicks. For starters, the game doesn't have any music. For 2, the sound effects are cool at first, because, you know, being used to games like Rainbow Snake that don't have any sound or music. But then once you hear the sound of your ship shooting for the umpteenth time, you're just like, let's just mute this. Then not to mention that your ship is glowing red, which makes me constantly think that it's about to explode, even though that's not the case. Also, there's no flash icon for when your ship gets hit. There's just a standard hit sound, so you may not even realize that you were hit. Then again, you really shouldn't be getting hit at all, so I don't really know what your excuse is there, but even games as early as Super Mario Bros. Had the invincibility buffer. I don't see why a game in 2019 wouldn't have something that was considered revolutionary in 1985 and is now standard practice for the industry. That being said, the game is fun in short bursts. There were a couple of times where I said, I want to play just a couple more rounds, but then again, in retrospect, I suppose the main reason I thought that wasn't so much that I thought the game was good, it's more so that I thought the game would get better. And it didn't. I got up to level 5 and would not have been able to tell you the difference, honestly, because the waves of enemies don't change much at all. I mean, sometimes you get where there won't be as many reddish yellow enemies, but that's about it. The enemy's AI doesn't even feel like it's actively attacking you. There will be enemies on the right side of the screen shooting when I'm on the left side. Why don't the enemies try to actually anticipate your movements instead of just randomly firing out projectiles? The green ones are the only ones with semi-sense, with red missiles that sort of hone in on your direction, so you have to avoid them chasing you across the screen. Also, this background, what is with it? It just has a bunch of white dots soaring through the background. In Galaga, at least the pictures were colored and animated, and in Super Mario Brothers they had clouds and trees in the background. I mean, I know this game is in space, but there was another Wii U game called Hold Your Fire that was also a pretty terrible game that I reviewed that had planets in the background, colorful planets. So again, what is this game's excuse? It's also an indie game on the Wii U. That being said, I only paid 89 cents for it, so I guess I probably should have expecting this coming in, but I wouldn't say it's a particularly worthy investment, especially while Galaga may be ever so slightly more pricey, it's only like $3, and it's got way more value. Plus, if you're really desperate to play Space Invaders game and you're like, but Paul, Space Invaders games, how often do you find them? Well, the DS actually had 2 Space Invaders remakes called Space Invaders Extreme that actually updated the formula way more than this did. So the fact that a DS can outperform Nintendo's first HD console is beyond me. So you're better off just skipping this. Oh, and stay tuned for this being on my worst games of 2019 list. I'm sorry, but I just can't resist when a game comes out on the Wii U after it's already been considered a failure and just gives people more reasons to think of it as a joke. Oh well, at least Random Spin seems to have given up. Maybe they've actually watched my videos and learned a lesson. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, and if you didn't enjoy the video, hope you at least liked the Banjo-Kazooie stuff in the background, because honestly, even I'm kind of getting tired of this scenery. With that being said, thank you for watching, and until the next time, keep the faith, stay epic, God bless, and the Wii U has great games. You just have to look prior to 2017 to find them. Bye!